Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we are taking a deeper dive into our thoughts about Emem and Brandon following the second part of the reunion.
Listen here, I didn't get a chance to really say my thoughts about it because I was sick, but I feel a lot better.
Okay.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. I'm going to get straight into it. You scare me, Brandon, right? I don't know if y'all know, but when you're a little boy or even a teenager, right, you do little performative things to impress the girls, right? Even let's say something as simple as, let's say there's a group of friends there, a group of guy friends there, and then let's say a group of beautiful ladies walk by. All of a sudden, one of the guy friends want to put another guy friend in the headlock. They want to do things to basically show up and show off, right? Brandon give off to me a big show off, a big hogging the spotlight. I really don't understand why he was there. I really don't understand what was his purpose of being there. Maybe like Emem may have felt like to support me. This is my fiance. He needs to be there, but he's not your fiance from the show, right? As much as we want to do revisionist history and have him in the previous episodes and things of that nature, I know Brandon wasn't on the show, right? We done this whole season from October. And it just comes off as if Brandon just want to be there to basically be on TV. One thing that he said that rubbed me the wrong way, especially since we've been talking about, people coming on the show for the right reasons. He said, she got me in the room. She got me in the room. And like, because I'm with her, she got me in front of y'all. And I'm like, what do that mean? Like, are these like your TV celebrities? Or is this like an opportunity for you to see Pastor Cal in person, to see Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pierre? So it just came off as if he was just a big goof to me. What was your thoughts of seeing Brandon this past reunion and even like the previous episode?
Yeah, the reunion was a lot. It was just a lot. It was... I need to give more words than just a lot.
A lot is a great word, though.
The whole thing, like him wanting to come out and shake Ikechi's hand and saying, I knew he wouldn't be man enough to do that. Ikechi don't got to prove nothing to you at all.
No, not at all.
Honestly, like he really doesn't. So that was weird to me.
Yeah.
Then him telling Pastor Cal that he wanted him to marry them right there on stage.
Yeah.
It's just all very confusing because is Emem even like divorced yet? From everything that we hear, the cast can't really file for and get their divorces granted until after the show. So, if they have both been divorced, that's great. But you were really going to kind of not give her the wedding that I feel like she deserves and probably dreamed of,
I guess Married First Sight is giving away free weddings, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if they were looking for maybe a wedding special.
Yeah.
It was just chaotic and I was turned completely off.
Yeah.
I was turned completely off. I was thinking to myself with Emem, if this is the guy you like, that's wonderful, but he is hamming it up on screen. And it's just like, I don't see why he needs to be here when other people are in other relationships and their people aren't here. It's just kind of like, why is there a third chair on the stage? It was just, like I keep saying, it was a lot. So
do you think that the main reason why she had Brandon on the show, or however Brandon got himself on the show, was to get back at Ikechi?
I think that was part of it, but I also think that Emem wants to show that she's in a much better place and to show herself in a better light in her perspective of I ended up with the man, I ended up with the family, I ended up getting what I wanted, even if it didn't come through the route that I expected. So I think she wanted to give herself a full story arc, which she ended up getting, but to us, it just looks very rushed and chaotic.
Oh, no. Not only to us, but to the experts.
Yeah.
Pastor Cal was like, we talk offline. Pastor Cal don't want to talk to you on TV about marrying y'all on about this guy that he just met.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about it, that I think in her head she may think like it's working and that it looks good, but it not only does it not look chaotic, it just looks horrible. It just looks terrible. And one thing that did rub me the wrong way, which is I feel like, especially when it comes to women bodies and things of that nature, it is I leave it up to the woman's discretion to share, right? Mm-hmm. But Brandon is such a spotlight hogger that he's such a he all up in the videos and things of that nature, that he's sharing things that I feel like I don't think we deserve that as viewers, something that is as close, because we only know Emem through the process of Ikechi.
Yeah.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Through the process of being married at first sight, right? Even though it's sad and, prayers and things like that, hopefully y'all can get through it. But I feel like that is something that should have stayed in-house between y'all.
I feel like it should have been Emem to lead the conversation if that's something that she felt comfortable sharing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's the one who blurted out the date of the miscarriage and put it out there in that way. And I understand that Kevin was kind of like pressing them about whether there was a child or not, or a pregnancy or not. And I know a lot of people online were kind of speculating on whether she's pregnant or not, and that's just not something that I actually like. I think that is actually rude. Okay. And I actually get offended for people and for myself when people want to speculate when people are pregnant, because you don't know what's going on with people.
No.
Because somebody in her case, could have had a miscarriage and they're still carrying around some of that weight. People could be going through depression, gaining weight, losing weight, all types of things. People can just be eating good one summer and then they need to spend, a few months to get their weight down, or it could be thyroid issues or whatever the case may be.
It could be anything.
So I'm just kind of like, I just don't like watching people's bodies that closely, because it's really nobody's business. But if she felt comfortable to share, that should have been up to her. And for Brandon to blurt out the date like that, I was just kind of like, I wasn't feeling that. But you know what? If Emem knows him and if she knows his intentions, if they're good, then that's up to her to decide. But it just makes me question Emem's thought process when it comes to this, because she was talking about with Ikechi how much she had been through and how basically he was light work. And so it makes me wonder, she's talking about how she's happy with Brandon, but she was happy with Ikechi taking her to the arcade after he was dogging her out for so long. So that's why I'm like, I can't base this off of Emem's perceived happiness.
No,
because she's willing to deal with a lot.
And you said it perfectly right there. Emem, it's not that I don't believe that you are happy. I just don't know if you know what happiness is. You know, because I think your measuring system is a little off. I go back to that conversation that you just brought up, that you just referenced, when she was sitting down having a one-on-one with Michelle, talking about how she's not a quitter. She's not going to give up on Ikechi. And guess what? I've been through worse guys than this. And I'm like, you cannot measure your happiness or measure basically your success on, this is not the worst that I've been through. No, bad is still bad. You get what I'm saying? Not good is still not good. And I'm not here to say that Brandon is not good. I just don't feel like he scares me, right? As a grown man, right? Watching Emem throughout the season, especially during the after party. We did every after party, right? And every after party that she was on with Keisha, you can kind of see that she kind of still wears that Married at First Sight experience. Right. Okay. And the thing about the Married at First Sight experience is it's a hard experience, and it's an even harder experience when you have someone like Ikechi going through it. Right. I'm not here to basically be like, Ikechi was right. Ikechi was right in how he treated her, that like she wouldn't marry anybody. At the end of the day, if you want to marry someone or not, the least thing that you can give the person that you pair with is respect, decency. That's the least you can do. You don't have to give them a spouse, but you could give them respect, right? And during her experiment, she was not giving the full respect, or even someone who was committed to the process. So by that metric, Brandon, who can be love bombing her or who could be doing whatever he's doing, I don't even know what you call it. That's why she said at the reunion, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for the Married at First Sight process. And that's why I'm like, you cannot judge or measure what is good for you or what is right by basically to Akechi's metric. Ikechi was all the way on the other side of the spectrum of being wrong. And Brandon may just be on the whole other side of like, yeah, of course, like, yeah, I'm straight gonna marry you on the show. We should went on 2 dates. I'm gonna propose to you on the second date. I'm gonna propose to you inside the jewelry shop. And guess what? I'm gonna wear this tux at the reunion. I'm gonna come with you and we gonna get married, and Pastor Cal gonna marry us on the show. That is too much on the other side. That is someone that is, I would say, not committed to you, but committed to be seen. Yeah. And Brandon just it's just something about him that to be like, you want to be seen. And I really don't understand the whole, I don't understand the whole letting us know that y'all was having sex the night before in the hotel.
And that's something else I'm
just like, why are you showing me this?
I guess that's what I wanted to add to too. And, you know, I think that maybe people can have different opinions about how much about their sex life they want to share. Yeah. I think that we're in a culture where a lot of things are very sex positive, so people feel comfortable sharing things. But I think in the scope of Married at First Sight, when we ask people about their sexual relations with their partners, is to gauge where they're at when it comes to their connection in this odd, off the wall type of situation. Are you guys forming that physical bond in order to gain a greater bond to really feel like a married couple, which you actually are? We don't need to know if Brandon and Emem are getting it on because we're not gauging whether or not they're progressing in the relationship because we don't really care.
And Brandon, you're not on the show.
And you're not a contestant on the show. So it's not something that we really need to be privy to. But the fact that they're getting it on, you know, I'm glad they've been together for over a year and some change now at this point. So you would think that they would. And then with Emem, I also wonder how much of that is she comfortable revealing when it comes to this relationship. I think that when it comes to the Married at First Sight process, there's so much that you have to lay bare for the public to see, as well as for the experts, in order to, of course, make the show, but also to get to the root of problems to make the a relationship work. But you would think that coming from that situation, you wouldn't want to lay as much bare for everyone else when it comes to your next relationship. I would think you'd want to hold it pretty close and be able to deal with things on your own, which I'm sure, you know, they have dealt with a lot of things on their own. But it seemed like when Brandon got the opportunity to blast some of their personal information, he took it. And I was just kind of like, so for what though? For what purpose? And
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people may not feel this way, but I feel this way. If you want to be in the spotlight, if you want to dance all up in the videos, if you want to be the one that want to show up in front of the camera, tell us about you. Right? He's over here talking about how thirsty Emem was. He over here talking about the miscarriage that she unfortunately had. He's over here talking about the sex that he had, the Hennessy and all this stuff. He's the one that want to stand up and adjust his tux and go in front of Pastor Kyle and things of that nature. Tell us what happened in your previous marriage. Let's learn about Brandon now. Since you want to be in front of the camera and since you want to be on the show, tell us about yourself. Don't tell us nothing about you and Emem. Tell us what happened in your previous marriage to where you got married, right? Somewhere, somehow, you said you was driving down the road and you realized you was going down the wrong road, and then you couldn't turn back around. You got out, you jumped out the car and things of that nature. Then you rolled up in Emem's lap.
Yeah.
Like tell us some more details about that. Tell us about, are you divorced, right? Tell us the relationship that you have and things of that nature with your kids. You told us during that time Emem was the only light in your life and things of that nature when you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Like let's learn about Brandon.
If you're going to be here.
If you're going to be here.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn about Brandon with Emem. If you want to dance all up in my face. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I think she probably thought this 8. But no, they just make us look at Emem and Brandon like, you good, Emem? That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
I looked at it like, Emem, you good?
But I really feel like no one can talk Emem out of anything. I mean, all these people are grown. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to sign up on Married at First Sight. And like we said, if you sign up for Married at First Sight, we already feel like you kind of adventurous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen here. I'm not here to call nobody crazy, but I'm going to say I'm not crazy. You know, my wife's not crazy, but some people may feel adventurous.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I think she wanted to feel like, hey, let me write my own story. But like I said, your job, Emem, was to come on the show and to be married. And at the end of the day, you was not given that equal opportunity. You was robbed of that by Ikechi. But that wasn't your time to pick up the pen and try to, you know what, I'm gonna rewrite my story. Because now you got people here saying that Ikechi was right all along. I'm not willing to go that far. Not even a little bit, because at the end of the day, everybody deserves respect and decency, right? But listen here, if I was Ikechi, I'm not shaking that man's hand. Y'all over here kissing in front of me.
Why would I sit up there?
Like it makes no sense.
Why would I sit up there?
Ikechi looked like the normal guy up there. He was like, I'm not sitting up there. I'm not shaking that man hand. I don't know who he is. Why does he have a bet with himself?
Yeah.
On if he gonna be man enough. I don't need to be man enough. I don't have to prove myself to this stranger who is trying to be in front of Pastor Kyle.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically how I feel about the whole Brandon and Emem thing. But like I said, y'all are grown. We are going to see where are they now with the whole Chicago, the last episode of Married at First Sight. I'm sure he go do most of the talking. He probably go do most of the dancing and hogging the spotlight. But Brandon, if you're going to do that, tell us about you. You get what I'm saying? Like, you over here talking about, my kids talk to Emem more than me. Why? Those your kids.
Yeah.
Listen, that's not a flex to me.
Yeah.
I know some people may read it as, Emem is so embedded in the family because my kids are comfortable with her and things of that nature. Listen, it may sound cool.
That leaves me with more questions about the dynamics. Yeah.
So let's learn about you, Brandon. Who is you?
I actually don't care to know.
Listen, I'd rather learn that than learn about the sex and the Hennessy y'all had the night before. Who is you?
Yeah.
Because you come off as scary and as an opportunist, as someone that is a clout chaser.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all next time.
Bye.